Hi, welcome to Community Crates with Zed. Today we're going to be taking a look at a video that came up on my feed from someone named Wusky Wolf. Now Wusky opened up 600 crates at the start of the Halloween update, and 200 of them were the new bone-chilling bonanza cases. I asked Wusky for permission to record a video using his openings and overlay my graph on top of it, and he was interested in it. So today, instead of me opening crates and potentially losing money, we're going to look at Wusky and see how well Wusky does at opening cases here today. I've done some more calculations behind the scenes here on the expected value of the bone-chilling bonanza case. We are seeing an expected value of 0.67 keys, which is a loss of 0.34 keys with each case you open. This is including the bonus slot, which I'm estimating at 0.1 to 0.2 keys, and this is using the latest up-to-date prices on the Steam market. There's not a lot of sale data available for some of the higher tier stuff like the unusuals and the strange unusuals, so I've kind of given my best guess, and they don't influence the expected value by too much. So let's take a look at the video, and we'll track how well they do along the way. When I start the video here, it's going to go really fast. You can track the profit at the top. I'll try to call out values as I see them. This will include the value of the bonus items. They'll count towards the value of that single opening, and this will be tracking the profit as if Wusky had opened the cases today. Okay, number one. We have the Clown's cover-up. Number two, we have Thunderdome and a Tour of Duty ticket. Number three, we have the Spider and a Tour of Duty ticket. And a Strange Medical Mummy. Number four, we have the Make Ogre and a Fearsome Fluorescence. Number five, we have the Backpack Expander, the Constructor's Cover. Number six, we have the Description Tag and a Splitting Headache. Number seven, we have the Fearsome Fluorescence and the Ludicrously Lunatic Lunan Fedora. Number eight, the Mean Captain. There was also a Strange Count transfer tool in there. Number 10 is a Giftapult and Six-Eyed Specs. Number 11 is a Shortness of Breath. Number 12, we have the Concealed Convict. Number 13, we have Six-Eyed Specs and a Strange Count transfer tool. Number 14, the Splitting Headache with a Tour of Duty ticket. Number 15, Medical Mummy. Number 16, Concealed Convict, and there was a Spider in there. We got a Concealed Convict and a Backpack Expander, and a Strange Count transfer tool, a Medical Mummy, a Giftapult, we're going fast, a Medical Mummy, and a Spider. Another Medical Mummy was in there, and a Splitting Headache. We got another Medical Mummy. This one's a Constructor's Cover, the main cast, Description Tag with a Sharpshooter Shroud, that one's a Thunderdome, and a Fearsome Fluorescence with a Ludicrously Lunatic Lunan Fedora for 27. Number 28 is the Make Ogre. Number 29 is the Ludicrously Lunatic Lunan Fedora. Number 30, Splitting Headache. Number 31, Six-Eyed Specs. Number 32 is the Make Ogre with a Caravan. Number 33, Splitting Headache, and a 34, Six-Eyed Specs. Number 35, Constructor's Cover. Number 36 was a Dead Heat. Number 37, Ludicrously Lunatic Lunan Fedora. Number 38 is a 6-eyed Specs, and there is a Caravan in there. Number 39 is a Fearsome Fluorescence with 6-eyed Specs. Number 40 is another Fearsome Fluorescence with a Warlock's Warcloak. Number 41, a Constructor's Cover. Number 42, Power Spike. Love it. With a Gift Wrap. And number 43 is a Splitting Headache. 44 is Ludicrously Lunatic Lunan Fedora. 45 is a Strange Thunderdome. 46 is another Thunderdome. 47, Jumping Jester. 48, Spider with a Concealed Convict. Number 49, Fearsome Fluorescence with a Ludicrously Lunatic Lunan Fedora. 50, we got a Strange Dead Heat. That one's worth 2.15 keys. With a Gift-a-Pult. Next is the Mean Captain. And we get a Blasphemette with a Strange Classic Criminal. That's only worth half a key. 53, Shortness of Breath. 54, Thunderdome. 55, Splitting Headache. 56, Strange Part Robot Spies Destroyed, and a Thunderdome. 57, another Thunderdome. 58, Concealed Convict. 59, a Constructor's Cover with a Strange Count Transfer Tool. 60 is a Concealed Convict. 61 is a Medical Mummy. 62 is 6-eyed Specs. 63 is an Unusual Thunderdome with the Unusual Effect Sapped, and I think it looks gorgeous. I want an Unusual with the Sapped effect. Don't know how well it works on a Demo Man, but I love the team colors and I love the electric sparks. Now that one I have listed at 9.09 keys. That's just the average Thunderdome price. I'm not sure what Westkey actually sold it for. Number 64 is a Make Ogre. 65 is a Medical Mummy. 66 is a 6-eyed Specs. 67 is a Make Ogre. And there's a Tour of Duty ticket on that last one. Shortness of Breath with a Backpack Expander. A Fearsome Fluorescence with, there was a Medical Mummy in there. The next one is also Medical Mummy. Number 71 is another Medical Mummy. 72, we got the Team Spirit paint, which is actually worth a key, with a Medical Mummy and a Tour of Duty ticket. 73 is a 6-eyed Specs. 74 is a Splitting Headache. 75 has a Strange Count Transfer Tool and 6-eyed Specs. 76 is a Medical Mummy and a Spider. 77 is Dell Dynamic. Love it, it's like a superhero engineer. 78 is another Fedora. 79, it's Australian Gold Paint and a Concealed Convict. 80 is a Demonic Dome. That is one of the rarest ones you can get. That's a 0.43 chance, worth 1.78 keys. 81 is a Medical Mummy. 82 is a Strange Shortness of Breath, worth half a key. 83 is a Strange Thunderdome. 84, Shortness of Breath, with a Dark Salmon Injustice. 85, Splitting Headache. And a Strange Part Headshot Kills, which we've seen in another video. That's worth 2.5 keys. There's a Constructor's Cover. Another Constructor's Cover. A Jumping Jester. A Strange Count Transfer Tool with a Make Ogre hidden in there. A Constructor's Cover. 91 is a Splitting Headache. 92 is a shortness of breath. 93 is a strange shortness of breath with a fearsome fluorescence. 94 is Six-Eyed Specs with a Tour of Duty ticket and a description tag. Number 95 is Thunderdome. Number 96 is Constructor's Cover. 97 is Thunderdome. 98 is also a Thunderdome with a gift wrap. A stunt suit for number 99. And 100 is a Thunderdome. We'll take a pause here, take a look at our graphs here. I know this video is going faster than my normal openings. I had to cut down the video to what was shown on stream, and I don't have the luxury to pause it as nicely as I can in my normal videos. Let's look at the value opened. We are bang on for Power Spike. We are bang on for Clown's Cover Up. We haven't seen any Mad Lad or The Last Laugh. We should have seen one about 2/3 of the time here. We haven't seen one yet. Hopefully we see one as we go on here. We haven't seen enough Dead Heats, and we haven't seen enough Sharpshooter Shrouds or the main cast or the shortness of breath. Other than that, we're doing a little bit better by getting a Demonic Dome off the bat. That one's, you only expect that about half the times you open 100 cases, and we got one, so that's great. We don't have a bare bones, and so we're losing some value on that. Other than that, it's going as expected. If we look at the profit graph, again, this is if we opened it today, and not necessarily what Wesky sold for, but we can see our expected value after opening 100 cases is minus 34.63 keys, and our actual profit is minus 61.06. Alright, let's continue with the back 100 cases here, and best of luck to Wesky. Number 101 is a Constructor's Cover with a Caravan. 102 is a Mean Captain. 103 is a Medical Mummy. We're seeing lots of those. 104 is a Shortness of Breath. There's a Strange Count transfer tool in there, as well as a Tour of Duty ticket. 105 is Constructor's Cover with a Caravan. 106 is a Make Ogre. Well, there was a Make Ogre back there. We saw 107 with a Warlock's Warcloak, and 108 had a name tag with Constructor's Cover. 109 is a Thunderdome. 110 is a Concealed Convict. 111 is a Strange Mean Captain. 112 is a Strange Make Ogre with a Giftapult and a Spider with a Dead Heat for 113. 114 is a Concealed Convict. 115 is Blasphemet with a Strange Mean Captain. 116 is a Ludicrous Lunatic Lunan Fedora. 117 is a Sightseer. There's a Giftapult there, it got cut out. 118, the Mean Captain. 119 is also a Mean Captain. 120 is Six-Eyed Specs. 121 is Thunderdome. 122 is Stunt Suit. 123 is Splitting Headache. 124 is Drab Tentacure with a Shortness of Breath. 125 is Medical Mummy. 126 is Blasphemet with a Strange Constructions cover that got cut out. 127 is another Fedora. 128 is a Caravan with a Giftapult and a Mean Captain. 129 Six-Eyed Specs. 130 is the Make Ogre. 131 is a Giftapult with a Caravan with a Strange Count transfer tool, a Mean Captain, and a Tour of Duty ticket, giving one case with 4 bonus items. 132 Medical Mummy. 133 Shortness of Breath. 134 Blasphemet with a splitting headache, and there's actually, I'll pause here, there's actually an unusual taunt that I think was in this spot. An unusual taunt, Yeti Smash, Unusual Fire. Wusky does find them in the end, but I think it's important to take your time with the bonus items in the cases. You can find things like unusual taunts, there's some strange parts that are worth, you know, up to a few keys. There's paints that are worth a key each, so I think while a lot of the bonus items are kind of junk, there are some hidden gems in there, so make sure you're not missing value when you do your own craze openings. You want to make sure you can flip everything you need to make your money back. Okay, continuing onwards to 135. We have the main cast. 136 is a splitting headache. 37 is shortness of breath. 138 is a stunt suit. 139 is a strange fedora. 140 is six-eyed specs. 141 constructor's cover. 142 medical mummy. 143 another fedora. 144 dead heat. 145 is a brown paint with a strange mean captain. 146 is a constructor's cover. 147 is classic criminal with a tour of duty ticket. 148 mad lad, that one's worth a couple keys. 149 Thunderdome. 150 shortness of breath. 151 a strange make ogre. 152 a distinctive lack of hue with a ludicrously lunatic Lunan fedora. 153 has a blasphemate. There's a splitting headache as well. And a fearsome fluorescence. We got a medical mummy for 154. A jumping jester for 155. Mean captain 156 with a blasphemate. Number 157 is a caravan with a strange ludicrously lunatic whatever fedora. 158 is a strange make ogre with a fearsome fluorescence. We got Drably Olive Paint for 159 with a strange medical mummy. 160 is constructor's cover. 161 is medical mummy. 162 we got a strange Thunderdome. 163 the mean captain. 164 we got a strange make ogre. 165 medical mummy. 166 classic criminal. 167 the mean captain. 168 the last laugh, that one's worth a key, 2 keys and a half. 169 is concealed convict with a caravan. 170 is a splitting headache. 171 is also a splitting headache. 172 was the mean captain. 173 was a caravan with dead heat. 174 is an unusual mean captain, and I actually audibly gasped when I watched this the first time. The team captain is a hat from back, a decade ago when I was really into trading in Team Fortress 2, and a unusual team captain was highly coveted. I'm sure still is highly coveted, and so to see an unusual mean captain with a Halloween effect on it, it's just a breathtaking unusual. Now I've got this listed on the tracker as being worth 38.79 keys. I'm sure Wusky sold it for much more than what I have listed here. But what a breathtaking unusual here. We'll take a look at it real quick. Yes, looks gorgeous. This is all class, so you could wear it on any of your favorite classes. Really lucky owner, whoever's getting that one. 175, another fedora. 176, there's a description tag in there. 176 was a concealed convict. 177 is a mad lad. 178 make ogre. 179, Splitting Headache. 180, a Caravan with a strange shortness of breath that got cut out. A strange Splitting Headache for 181 with the description tag. There's a Caravan in there too. 182 was a Medical Mummy. Yeah, there's a description tag in there. The Constructor's cover with a strange part, Revenge Kills. 184 is Thunderdome. 185 is Blasphemette with a strange Jumping Jester. A Classic Criminal for 186. A Fedora for 187. 188 has a Classic Criminal with a Tour of Duty ticket. 189 is a strange Thunderdome. 190 is a strange part, Unusual Wearing Player Kills. That one comes with a Dead Heat. 191 is a Blasphemette with the Mean Captain. 192 is Clown's Cover-Up. 193 is Dead Heat. 194 Stunt Suit. 195 Fearsome Fluorescence with a Thunderdome. 196 Constructor's Cover. 197 Medical Mummy with a Air of Debonair worth half a key. A Ludicrously Lunatic Lunan Fedora with a Spider. 199 is a Medical Mummy, and 200 is the Thunderdome. A strange one, actually. Wesky sorts his items. Here's where you can take a look at to kind of reconcile what I had tracked with what Wesky actually opened. I used this to find the ones that got cut out. Here's where Wesky finds the Unusual Taunt Yeti Smash Unusual Fire that was missed when skipping bonus items. And we'll see the last bits of the page here. Great. Now, if you enjoyed watching Wesky open up some cases, I'll link the video here. Wesky goes on to open up 400 more cases from past Halloweens and past Christmases. I think the concept of the video is trying to open up a winter hat with a Halloween effect, which I think is a unique, unusual. A big thanks to Wesky for allowing me to use his video. Make sure you check out Wesky's channel. It seems like Wesky also enjoys opening cases, so there might be some overlap between my videos and Wesky's videos. So I've made a couple charts here to demonstrate where Wesky opened up value. 84% came from the case items. We got 1.8% from the Unusual Taunt, 3.1% from the Strange Part, 4.1% from the paints, 5.3% from any other bonus items, and 1.8% from the Halloween bonus items. In terms of each item and how it contributed to the overall value, the Unusual Mean Captain took up 32.9% at least of the total value. I'm sure Wesky was able to sell it for more. The Unusual Thunderdome takes up the next 7.7%, and then some of these higher tier items like the Clown's Cover-Up, Mad Lad, Dead Heat, Power Spike, and Last Laugh. Each of those taking up a lot of value here. So you can see, just in these top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items, that's a majority of the value just tied up in a few of those items. The rest is these smaller items that you'll sell later on. Surprisingly, 3.5% of the value coming from those Tour of Duty tickets. While they're not exciting, they are a stable source of refined when you flip them. Another one coming from that Strange Part Headshot Kills, that was 2.6% value. We got some value from Paint, the Distinctive Lack of Hue, and Team Spirit, making up a combined 2.8%. Backpack Expanders making up 1%. A couple Stranges making up some value here, the Strange Shortness of Breath, Jumping Jester, and Dead Heat. The Demonic Dome, despite being really rare, only took up 1.5% of the value. So yes, maybe some surprising learnings in terms of what actually held value in terms of the 200 cases we opened. Maybe a dozen or so items here making up the majority of the value. Another chart I thought was interesting was the items opened per case. I think it was really exciting to see those 5 total items come out of that one case, and I wanted to see what it looked like across all these cases. So, you know, some had just the one, some had two, some had three. You know, even that unusual one had a Halloween bonus item in it. I've heard rumors that it's possible to get an unusual taunt as well as a normal unusual in the same case. I haven't seen it. If you've seen one, I'd love to see it. My final analysis chart here is just the profit graph. You can see the actual profit really followed that trend line of the expected profit. I think I'm getting close to getting an expected value for these Bone Chilling Bonanza cases. Or perhaps Wesky just got a little unlucky in terms of the value that they opened. Again, my recommendation is that you don't open this new case. Some of the value that's coming out of this case is just the novelty of opening it, and you can't resell that novelty. Going with safer bets like some of my other videos, like crate number 28, where the expected value is higher than the cost to open it, those are your best bets for trying to make a profit out of opening cases. Again, none of this is guaranteed. These are all estimates, these are all chances, and ultimately it's up to the random number generator in terms of what you're going to get. But if we're taking chances, we should be taking the best chances. If you're into finding the crates and cases with the best chances, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be covering even more cases and crates, covering other openings, and continuing my adventure making a profit on my crate openings. If you're keeping track of the crates and cases you're opening, I'd love to hear how you're doing compared to what you expect to open. I'd also love to hear what you thought about this video format. This is a little faster paced, I think. I don't have a chance to stop and smell the roses in between each case opening. It felt fast to me, but I'm curious what you think. If that was enjoyable to you, I can continue making content like this. If not, I'm gonna go right back to doing Crates with Zed, where I open my own crates. Anyways, that's it for today. Hope you're all doing well. Take care. Bye.